Today, I'm going to unbox one of the coolest figures in my collection, and for the very first time, I'm going to be opening a Super 7 action figure. There's a lot of really awesome Super 7s that I've seen throughout all of our toy hunts we've done on the channel. I've seen some really awesome Power Rangers ones, like the Megazord, for example. I think they even make SpongeBob ones. I've seen like SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward, which is crazy. Maybe I need to get my hands on those now that I think about it. And there's plenty of wrestling ones, and also there's plenty of Disney ones too. So there's a lot of Super 7s, but which one are we gonna open today? The New Japan Pro Wrestling Will Ospreay figure that came out a few years ago. Around the time me and Jared actually started this channel, we visited a store called Blue Line Collectibles in South Philly, which is no longer open, unfortunately, and we were blown away when we walked around the corner in that store and there was just an entire wall of New Japan Pro Wrestling action figures, and we just couldn't believe it, and we pretty much bought all of them, with the exception of Okada, which we've never seen, and Bushi, who I wasn't dying to buy. Me and Jared together pretty much have every New Japan figure that's coming out. So he has an Ospreay, I have an Ospreay, he also has Tomohiro Ishii, and we both have Evil, and we both have Tanahashi and Naito. But anyway, I was a big fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling between the years of like 2016 and 2020. I have fallen off recently. I'm still aware of what's going on, but I don't watch it all the time like I was back then. That said, because I was such a big fan, these figures I love. I love the art, I love the box, I love the lion mark. I just love the fact that it's a New Japan action figure, and I have like a little wrestling shelf that is pretty much dedicated to not just New Japan, it's predominantly New Japan, but it's like New Japan / AEW, mostly the elite guys along with New Japan stuff. A long-winded way of saying that I never intended to open any of these figures, but a little while ago, this guy, Will Ospreay, fell off the shelf that I had him on, and the box cracked. It was only a minor crack, but it was enough to where it annoyed me, and I'm like, I really don't want to keep it like that. So, after it's sitting on my shelf for all this time with the crack in it, I figure I'll just take it out. So I think we've yapped enough. Let's take a look at the action figure itself. So of course we have the box, and the way these are packaged, you can see who it is that's got the name listed at the bottom, but it's covered by the sleeve that has the lion mark on it, and on the back it has the New Japan Pro Wrestling font. Take that off. And also another cool thing about the box is that obviously it has like the New Japan ring on it with the longer turnbuckles that they have. You also get this cool little like tail of the tape or the stats for Will Ospreay on the back. But let's pop this guy out of the box, because as cool as I can talk about how the box is, we want to look at this action figure. So let's get him out of here. So this figure is awesome. This is definitely one of the coolest things that I have out on my shelf. This figure of Will Ospreay, it's modeled after his Best of the Super Juniors 2019 ring gear that he wore on that night. Fun fact, that's actually one of my favorite wrestling shows of all time, and that main event between Will Ospreay and Shingo Takagi is arguably my favorite wrestling match of all time. But yes, it is modeled after that match. They nailed it pretty well. So he has his red and gold attire, which looks awesome. He also has his ring jacket or cloak or vest. You can put the hood up or down. Now I actually taped, using double-sided tape, I taped the hood down because I wanted to pose it on the shelf, and otherwise it kind of just popped up a lot and it didn't look right. So the way I have it right now is how he's pretty much displayed on the shelf. He's got the sword that he comes with, which was part of his entrance on that pay-per-view. I call it a pay-per-view, it wasn't really a pay-per-view. New Japan's a little different than what you would expect to see on TV in the United States. It's not exactly a television show, it's more of an event-based wrestling company, but I'm going off on a tangent. But yeah, he had the sword. He was kind of like, almost like a samurai, and obviously Shingo Takagi being the dragon, I think it was supposed to be like a dragon slayer type deal. And also, as you see, he has the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, which I didn't even know he had on. So in the box, he has the vest or the jacket closed and the title's underneath it, which caught me off guard when I was taking it out. I was like, whoa. And I actually think, if I'm not mistaken, I've seen some other people open up the Naito and the Tanahashi figures, and they both have hidden titles as well. The point is that there is like that little bonus of, oh, you get the championship too when you open it. And when I opened this and saw the junior title, I was like, oh, dog. I had no idea he was wearing the junior heavyweight title. Let's go. But then I realized, oh, it should have made sense because he was the junior champion at this time in the Best of the Super Juniors. Along with the sword that he had from his entrance and his ring jacket, you get the title. You get a lot of other accessories as well, meaning that you get a head that you can swap out with. The head I have on now, I preferred. He looks a little bit more angry, I guess, and ready for battle. And they give you a lot of different hand accessories to swap out. Oh, and yeah, you also get the Best of the Super Junior trophy, because obviously, if you don't know, Will Ospreay won that match against Shingo, and he was the champion and the winner of the tournament at the same time. That's also the night that Will Ospreay announced he was going to be staying in New Japan relatively long term. I know he's in AEW now, but that was a big moment for him when he announced, like, I'm not leaving, I'm staying in New Japan, and the fans really, they already liked him, but they really embraced him at that time, so that was really cool. Again, I'm getting off on a tangent on New Japan. I could talk about New Japan forever. I loved New Japan. From 2016 to 2020, arguably the best wrestling product I've ever watched. But back to the accessories. I put the hand on, so he has like the, I don't know, like the Iron Man stance. That's how I have him on the shelf, but they give you the finger pointer. If you want him to do V-triggers, I guess, like Kenny Omega. Mwah. Goodbye and good night, bang. They also give you some closed fists. They give you fists that are slightly open so you can hold the sword and also so you can hold the trophy. It's not the easiest to get the trophy in the hand. The sword's not too bad, but to get the trophy in the hand, it's not that easy. Speaking of not easy, if I could backtrack to the junior title, I took the title off so I could pose him and show you all the different cool ways that you could basically display this figure and, you know, in all of its glory. But once I took the title off, it was a nightmare to get it back on. And that's kind of a reoccurring problem with wrestling titles and wrestling toys since I was a kid. The Jack specific ones were not too bad, but just in general, championship belts with wrestling figures, they're always a pain. So I struggled to get it back on, but I finally did, and now that he's wearing the title again, this thing is never coming off. But yeah, plenty of hand accessories, closed fists, you get the open fists, you get the finger pointers, mwah, and then you get the open palm as well. And as you see through all these different poses that I put him in, you can do a lot if you're looking to display the figure. In terms of the Super 7 itself, because this is the first one I've ever opened, they're pretty good figures because of pretty much the dexterity that it gives you in order to display it. But sometimes I had a little bit of an issue popping on the pieces, like the hands and the head swaps. The title, obviously, as I've gone through in detail, was kind of an issue. If you can look past that stuff, it's really awesome. And especially, again, I'm going to say, if you're just displaying it, like I have it the way I want it to be right now, I'm not going to change it. It's awesome. Some of the limbs are a little stiff. It can be a little wonky when you're trying to get it set up in the way you want. That's very minor. This really is an awesome figure. And if the other Super 7s are like this out of the box, I would say they're great figures. They really are. It's not flawless, but not a lot of figures are. This still does really look like Will Ospreay. Obviously, his hair's a little different now. He had the millennial side swipe or whatever going on then. But yeah, it does really look like him, I feel like. And they captured his Best of the Super Junior appearance almost perfectly. I can't really pinpoint anything that's not accurate to that match. They really nailed it in regards to that. So yeah, like I said, this figure is one of, if not the coolest figure that I have displayed. It definitely is out of the box. I'm racking my brain to think if I have another figure that's out of the box that's cooler than that one. I'm talking strictly action figures, so nothing like statues or anything like Sting here. Among the coolest ones that I have out, maybe the coolest one that I have out. But that's been the Will Ospreay Super 7 unboxing. If you do enjoy watching toy-related content, make sure to go check out all of our other stuff on the channel. If you like wrestling, Power Rangers, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Funko Pops, trading cards, if you're a fan of any of that, go check out those videos because we have all of that stuff. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next video. You fucker.